If you've lived your life in baggy potato sack black t-shirts and then you come out into the world in a floral waist cinching dress, people are gonna notice. But it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It might mean that you look amazing and they're excited to see you blooming and embracing you. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and I run the blog called Mrs. Midwest. Today we are going to be discussing a highly requested topic that is also near and dear to my heart, and that is how we can get more confident dressing femininely. Now, to set up the context for this video, I think it's important to note that feminine fashion isn't about wearing ruffled pink dresses. It's not about dressing like a little girl, but it is about emphasizing your womanhood, your womanly shape, and dichotomizing your style from masculinity. Now, if you weren't aware, modern feminine fashion is kind of difficult to find. There used to be a day when all women would wear a house dress, cocktail attire in the evenings, dresses were everywhere, and feminine clothing reigned supreme. However, since those days, it is kind of rare for women to wear dresses on a day-to-day basis, and instead, women seem to prefer outfits in a few different categories. Firstly, athleisure, the Lululemons, the yoga pants, the leggings, all of that is extremely popular, and branching off of that, we also have very loungy kind of clothing, extremely loose-fitting sweatpant. We also have extremely casual androgynous clothing, which kind of disguises the female figure, and there's also a lot of grays, neutrals, blacks, etc. A lot of these extremely casual styles can tend to look kind of much more androgynous or even masculine. Instead of erring towards the feminine, the casual uniform has a lot of dark colors, it's very loose, and again, that androgynous kind of look. Finally, when a lot of women want to dress up, the cocktail dress is kind of out the window, and instead we have this very kind of sexy category of clothing, you know, the Fashion Nova of the world, Instagram picture kind of clothing. Now, this kind of clothing isn't necessarily a bad thing. If you want to wear your athleisure, if you want to wear your sexy clubbing clothing or whatever, it's not a bad thing. But for those of us who want to dress more femininely, it can be difficult to kind of blend in with modern society. You know, wearing a house dress to go grocery shopping doesn't exactly fit in with all the yoga pants, sweatpants, and jeans running rampant in our culture. And because of this, a lot of you have expressed to me a type of mental anguish throughout your journey of trying to dress more femininely because you feel like you're standing out too much, you have a difficult time finding clothes, your friends and family are questioning your choices, and doing something that was so normal 50, 60, 70 years ago has now become almost like a statement. You know, it's very countercultural to dress very feminine against the grain. So today I want to kind of touch on that. For those of you who want to dress more feminine but are finding it difficult to gain your confidence throughout this style transformation, this video is for you, and I have 7 tips that have helped me, and I truly hope that they inspire and help you as well. So my first tip is to start wearing feminine clothing around the house. Now, this is to just kind of normalize how you view yourself, you know, passing by the bathroom mirror, seeing yourself in a feminine color, a feminine shape, etc., but then also kind of experimenting with what you like to wear. And the best place to do that is at home. So throughout your weekends, maybe when you're at home, when you're home alone, try on different outfits, different styles, and then wear them throughout the evenings before you can redefine what your style is to the people around you, before you can get that confidence with the people around you. You're going to need to get the confidence with yourself. You're going to need to really feel it on your own. So I really encourage you to start becoming more feminine in those private situations. With your sleepwear, get more feminine pajamas, wear more feminine undergarments, swap out those black boy shorts and wear some more feminine underwear. These little changes can really help you adjust in a larger sense. All right, this brings me to my second piece of advice. Start wearing your feminine clothing to social occasions where nobody knows you. A lot of you have expressed that the stress comes from someone commenting about your change in style, whether it's positive or negative. So one of the best things you can do is wear your style, but wear it around people who don't know you any other way, and they won't question it, first of all, but second of all, you'll really get to kind of take those training wheels off, go out into public and take your feminine clothing from your house and out into public, but without the stress of other people. Wear it to situations where people don't know you or they don't know you well enough to comment about it, like the grocery store, a movie theater, whatever you want to do. Just take that outfit out for a spin. One of the best things I ever did was switch up my style when I moved to a new town. Showing up to my new church, meeting new friends, new people, no one questioned my style because as long as they had ever known me, that's the way I dressed. So if you do have a life change coming up, maybe you're going to university, you're starting a new job, you're moving to a new town, it's a really great time to change your style because those people will be none the wiser, and that can kind of ease the transition for you. All right, this brings me to my third piece of advice. If you want to get more confident in feminine clothing, slip in little pieces here and there. There's no reason you have to go out the front door in a full head to toe feminine look your first time. You can slip in pieces here and there. Start wearing earrings, experiment with the undergarments, or slip on a feminine shoe. And just again, experiment slower. This will help you get more confident. It will help you get more used to wearing feminine clothing, and it will help other people get more used to seeing you in it. This is also a great method for people who are building up their feminine wardrobe from scratch. If you have a lot of blacks, if you have a lot of really loose kind of clothing that hides your womanly figure, if you don't have any feminine accessories, this method might work for you because you don't have to go out and spend $5,000 on a new wardrobe. You can just have a little piece here and there. And I would also kind of recommend going slow to everybody in the audience. And I don't believe in just buying clothing and wearing it one time. I believe in re-wearing your clothing. So you're gonna want to take this slow and really get to know kind of your feminine style. If it's your first time exploring feminine clothing, you're not really gonna know what you like. So going from a slower place, working with accessories, can really be a safe way to approach this transition. All right, this does bring me to my fourth piece of advice, which is to confront your fear head on. What are you most afraid of with dressing femininely? Is it showing your figure? Is it showing that you're a woman? Is it the attention you'll receive from others? Is it, a cranky aunt or uncle at the Thanksgiving table that might point out your change in style? What is your biggest fear? You need to do this feminine clothing transition for you. And it's about adding extra joy to your life and attaching yourself back onto that feminine, innocent, whimsical kind of lighter side of life. And style should be about expressing ourselves, having fun, and feeling really good. And I found that the more darker clothes, the loose clothes I was wearing just kind of made me feel heavy and sorrowful. But feminine clothing has just brought this new sparkle to my life. So I really encourage you, whatever mental blockage you have, face it head on. The more you ruminate about it, the worse it's going to seem in your mind. And 9 times out of 10, it's not even going to turn out the way you think it is. And also, it's important to stand up for yourself. So if you are worried about, what your colleagues would say, your sister would say, your mother, it's okay to stand up for yourself. If they make a rude comment, it's okay to look at them and say, why did you say that? I'm happy. And just kind of, infuse some clarity in that situation. Just because we're feminine women does not mean we have to just take a beating from everyone around us. I firmly believe it's okay to call people out on their terrible, rude behavior. A lot of you have told me actually that when you began to dress more femininely or express that you wanted to dress more femininely, a lot of you have gotten really positive feedback from the men in your life. So I really encourage you, if you need someone in your corner supporting your journey, find a supportive friend, tell your husband, tell your supportive mother, I'm going to be dressing more femininely and I'm excited about it. And if you don't have any girlfriends that care about style, try to join the Feminine Family hashtag. All of us are constantly talking about feminine style over on Instagram. You can talk about it in the comment section below, but just facing your fear head on will really unleash that confidence you need. But all of that aside, let's jump into the fifth area of advice, which is to remember that not all attention is negative. A lot of attention can lead to positive connection with other people. So just because someone comments on your change, just because someone takes notice that you look different, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. I know that I have a tendency to kind of shrink back like a blooming flower once somebody points out something about me, positive or negative. I'm like, oh, you noticed me, and it makes me feel very shy. So if you feel that way, I really encourage you to remind yourself that not all attention is negative. And if you've lived your life in baggy potato sack black t-shirts and then you come out into the world in a floral waist cinching dress, people are gonna notice. But it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It might mean that you look amazing and they're excited to see you blooming, embracing that feminine figure and the symbols of femininity, you know, florals and colors and separating yourself from that masculinity. You know, when a woman really embraces her femininity, it is very attention grabbing, you know, it's exciting. And I think that a lot of us have misinterpreted that as a negative thing, but it's okay to be noticed for your beauty. A lot of you have expressed that you've gotten more attention since dressing more femininely and you don't know how to handle it. And I would honestly encourage you to just take the compliments with a smile and move along with your day. However, if you do feel in any way in danger or unsafe, it is okay to be rude to people. You do not have to smile and thank every single person who compliments you if they are making you feel unsafe. Femininity is not about being vulnerable and allowing yourself to be taken advantage of or hurt by other people. You know, do what you gotta do to stay safe. Femininity should not be misinterpreted. It's not about, you know, being this smiling flower at all costs, even when someone is putting you in danger or trying to take advantage of you. In situations where I feel in any way unsafe, I get my game face on and I am not a nice person, okay? So you don't need to be the smiling feminine flower even when someone is trying to take advantage of you, because that puts you at risk. Do not be foolish. Listen to your gut instincts. Get into a safe situation. Call the authorities. Do what you have to do to be safe. But don't put some sort of feminine reputation as a higher priority than your safety. It's more important to get home safe to your beautiful family to nurture them than it is for you to keep up some sort of feminine facade. Femininity isn't about being this sweet little girl 24/7. You are a grown woman and it's okay to protect yourself. So that's my little piece on how to deal with the extra attention. But let's dive into my sixth piece of advice, which is to find style that you love. Now, you might really like the idea of being feminine, but there is so many different ways to dress femininely. You have vintage feminine style, modern feminine, you have bohemian feminine, classic, preppy. I know some people like to go all in on the vintage style or the preppy style or whatever, but I really encourage you to not commit too soon because you might discover that you love a different kind of style. Spend some time engaging with your tastes. What do you gravitate towards? What do you really like to look at? What do you wish you were wearing? When you love the style, you're gonna feel so excited when you put it on in the morning, and that's gonna cut back on a lot of that insecurity. If you're already feeling insecure about wearing feminine clothing and you don't love the outfit you're wearing, it's just bad news bears, okay? So make sure that you genuinely love the style that you're pursuing. And remember that you can really express femininity in so many different ways. It doesn't have to just be that 50s house dress. You can really do this with color. You can do this with shapes and textures and patterns, your hair and makeup, your accessories. I go over this in so many of my other videos if you need inspo. Zero in on some style expressions that you love and you will feel so much more confident and excited in the morning, because when you love something, it gets you excited and that excitement will breed confidence. This does bring me to the seventh and final tip for gaining confidence in your feminine style, and that is to surround yourself in content creators that emulate the style you want. So they don't necessarily have to be content creators that make videos like I do, you know, it could just be a regular influencer on Instagram, a blogger, you know, people who have feminine style that you really enjoy. And I've noticed that the more I've surrounded myself with feminine content creators and separated myself from influences that are more androgynous, casual, athletic, I've noticed it impact my own style and confidence. And also the more you see these other women living out their confident style, the more you will feel confident when you go off and live that style as well. I think that social media has a lot of negatives, but I know that it has really blessed my life to have the inspiration from these other influencers and women online. A really great tip is to just copy their confidence. Be a confidence copycat. See how they are rocking their outfit. And just remember too that as you do anything new in this world and as you begin thriving, people will pop up to try to keep you down. That's just the nature of our world we live in. And so when you surround yourself with content that reflects the values you want in your style, that reflects kind of the aesthetic you're going after, you're gonna feel so much more confident in your choices. So in general, with all of these tips, just remember that people are going to pop up in your life to keep you down when they see you thriving. That's just the nature of humans. A lot of us want to be on the same level, and when we see someone kind of blooming and thriving, sometimes people get envious or jealous and they want to cut you down. And it's often not about you, it's more about their own insecurities and problems. But the thing is that life is too short. It is too short to wear clothing that you don't feel great in. It is too short to dream about dressing more femininely for years and then never accomplish it. It is too short to not wear that color you want or that style you want, or to show that you are a feminine woman. Feminine dressing can be so empowering because it fully embraces womanhood, and it shows that you're unashamed of that womanhood. You don't need to wear a business suit to show that you're a strong woman. You can wear a dress in an amazing color and show that femininity, because we don't need to emulate masculinity in order to show that we are intelligent and strong and valuable members of society. You can do that in feminine clothing, and anyone who says otherwise harbors some issues against femininity. It's good to be able to embrace your femininity publicly, and the more that we do that as women collectively, the more we can show younger women that it's good and inspiring to embrace your femininity. Style is an expression, and I really encourage you to remember that life is too short to not have fun with it. So that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have more tips on how you gained confidence with feminine clothing, please leave them below. If you're interested in more of this topic, it is all over my channel. I have a femininity playlist on YouTube, as well as a beauty and style playlist that you might enjoy. On my blog, I also have a style series that I wrote last summer to again help you guys get more inspiration and confidence in your style journey. So I hope that is helpful. But in general, I just hope that you have a wonderfully blessed and style inspired week, my beautiful sisters.